Coming up on Gameball NFL Endzone, Mike and I break down the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl 54 win over the San Francisco 49ers. And our first segment, our second segment, did the Chiefs really win that game or did San Francisco lose it? Additionally, what do y'all think about Super Bowl Saturday night? We'll dive into that. Third segment, our 2020 way too early predictions. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl next year? What's going to be bold? What's going to be out there? And like everyone else, we mourn the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant, Gigi Bryant, and everyone else on the fatal helicopter, as well as Chris Dolman, who lost a long-time battle with cancer as well. So coming up, Gameball NFL Endzone.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. It's your boy, Michael Riley.
And I'm Luke Hartnett.
And we're still holding it down for our other brother, Marcus Young, Genius Jenkins, who's in the West Coast for the time being. So he'll be back on the show coming soon, momentarily. Right now, he's out in the West Coast getting settled in still. We got your back, brother, but let's get into it. Super Bowl 54 is in the books. The NFL season is over. The final score, 49ers 20, Chiefs 31. Let's break it down.
Called it. One day after Super Bowl 53, I said Mahomes will win MVP. I said he would go back-to-back regular season MVP. I missed that one. Takes the Chiefs to the Super Bowl, wins the MVP. I'm just going to mic drop. Called it.
Go ahead, break it down.
Kansas City, they had a little bit of good fortune on their side there. They were able to hold after getting held to a 3-and-out. They were able to keep San Francisco out of the end zone in their opening position. I think if San Francisco could have taken an initial 7-0 lead over Kansas City, it would have. They certainly could have used those 4 extra points down the stretch in the fourth quarter, as we'll get to here in a moment. But Kansas City was I like the aggression they showed in the first quarter. The first half, really, there were a couple of 4th-and-1s where they successfully converted, including that second drive of theirs where they took a 7-3 lead. And they got a little bit of good fortune there at the end of the first half. I think Shanahan should have called a timeout. I don't think Kittle should have got called for offensive pass interference, but they didn't. He did. And Kansas City, despite falling behind 10, and Mahomes sitting on 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions with 11 minutes to go in the game, was able to still rally for 21 unanswered points. Scored 28 in a row to the Titans AFC Championship after being down by 10 points at 2 separate times. Ripped off 41 in a row, after being down 24-0 to Houston in the divisional round. So another strong showing by Kansas City to be behind all 3 postseason games by 10 and yet won all 3 postseason games by 10 or more. Very, very impressive.
Well, you got to give the Chiefs a lot of credit. It seems they wanted more than the 49ers. The 49ers had them on their heels at one point. They were the aggressor, offensively running the ball effectively, then was up by 10 with 7 minutes to go, and I didn't understand why you didn't run the ball a little bit more, melt that clock. Then you want to throw the ball. You can't do that. If I was the coach, I'll be running on all 4 downs to just continue to melt that clock and trust your defense, because your defense came up twice with turnovers and all that, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't rattled. The Chiefs rallied back after giving up 10 unanswered points due to turnovers and all that. And I didn't understand why Kyle Shanahan decide to run the clock out.
Neither did John Lynch. Yeah, I don't know if you seen the video. They cut the John Lynch up in the booth, giving the timeout signal.
Yeah. So I don't know what was going on through his hair or not, but it seems like if he didn't take that timeout, there were some points there.
I believe his explanation was that Kansas City still had 3 timeouts of their own, and I guess he was thinking that if they don't pick up any first downs, they would have to eventually punt the football back, and Mahomes and company would still have 3 timeouts to march down and get some points in there. Said he was very fearful of the Chiefs' offense and just wanted to get to halftime tied at 10. I agree with the logic, but I'd call timeout.
It's a Super Bowl. It's all or nothing. If I lose, I'll just lose. You know what I'm saying? So, kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs, and their defense stepped up when they need to, force 3 turnovers at the end to win the game, and they just wanted them more. They was more hungry. Mahomes didn't have his best game at all until the fourth quarter, where he really stepped up.
Arguably had his worst game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, until the fourth quarter when they need him. And Williams, the running back, he had an excellent game, and in my opinion,
first player in Super Bowl history to run for over 100 yards, catch a touchdown, and run for a touchdown.
Yeah, so that really should have been an MVP for me.
He had my vote. Yeah, he definitely had my vote.
So, yeah, if you really want to be honest, but I guess they just gave it to Patrick Mahomes, so it is what it is. But overall, good win by the Chiefs, first time in 50 years. And the 49ers defense, offense, and special teams just fell a little bit short at the end to win the game. And you can tell the defense was gashed out. Offense couldn't even make any more plays. And they just got out-coached and outplayed the last about 5 minutes of the game. So the Chiefs are Super Bowl 54 champs. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. And when we come back, we'll get into the second segment. Did the Chiefs really win, and did the 49ers lose? Also, should Super Bowl be played on a Saturday? Stick around. Gameball NFL Endzone. We just getting started. Don't touch that dial. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. Segment number 2. That is 2, folks. Did the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, or did the 49ers lose it?
A little give and take here. Anytime there's a comeback like that, it's a partial comeback, partial choke job. I think it's probably 65% San Francisco lost it. You got to give Kansas City, the props. They made the plays down the stretch they had to get. Took advantage of some calls and some no calls that went their way. I think if they run it back, I think San Francisco wins a rematch. Though I think if they play 10 times, I think San Francisco probably wins 6, maybe 7 of the matchups. But they played once. Kansas City got the win. The only time they were really Kansas City was really outplayed was the third quarter. And they had a few drives going there. That second pick that Mahomes threw, they were down inside the San Francisco 20-yard line, and the pass wasn't like on the money, but it did hit Tyreek Hill, somewhat in the hands, kind of caught off like so where it was deflected. Mm-hmm. But they can't put that one completely on Mahomes. But and another thing, after they got the touchdown to go to cut it to 2017, I'd have liked to seen they get the ball after they kick off, 1st and 10, they give it to Mostert, 5 yards. 2nd and 5. So you basically have 2 plays to rush for 5 more yards, which I think they could have done. They go incomplete, punt. Kansas City gets the ball, touchdown, they get the lead, and then the wheels just kind of came off for San Francisco at that point. And Kansas City wanted to make Garoppolo beat them, and I don't know if that's necessarily what they did, but that's what San Francisco chose to try to have happen there, and I just stayed running the ball.
I agree. I'm not taking anything away from Kansas City Chiefs. They get mad props for winning the Super Bowl. To be honest, the 49ers lost this game. How you are up by 10 points with 7 minutes left and you gave it away. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator with the Falcons when they played the Patriots at the Super Bowl. Blew a 25-point lead. Now that he's the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, blew a 10-point lead. So that is 35 points that he blew the last two Super Bowls that he was with. One, when he was the coordinator, and two, and he was the head coach.
Well, hey, one more point I want to make there when it was 20-17. I mentioned the 5-yard run there to get it to 2nd and 5. I think you at least have to run the ball on 2nd down there because they threw incomplete. When you throw incomplete, you're at 3rd and 5. Now passing is your only option. Even if you get it down to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, now you can still run the ball again. You can do some play action. You can roll the quarterback out, so on and so forth. So I certainly think they should have ran it on 2nd and 5 there.
Yeah, if it was me, to be honest with you, I would have ran it on all 4 downs. Just melt that clock.
And there were times, you mentioned the Falcons game, where they probably should have ran the ball then too.
Yeah,
they had that catch. They had the pass to Julio, who made the little toe tap sideline catch there. Had them, they were up 8 at the time and in field goal range. Field goal put you up 11 late in the game. At that point, a field goal is basically a touchdown, 2-score game, and they didn't run the ball after that either. So it's a little deja vu.
Exactly. And did Kyle Shanahan learn something from his father by his dad winning 2 Super Bowls late at the game with the Denver Broncos? What he do? Run
exactly.
the ball.
He give it to Terrell Davis.
Just hand him the ball. Just you gotta make the ball your best friend. You gotta make the ball want you. You gotta be the Marvin Gaye. What I mean by that, the sexual healing, not that way, but I'll come up with this one is I was thinking of it earlier. Clock and healing, just run the clock. Hey, just clock and healing. All you do has run the ball in between the tackles. Hey, just melt that clock. But you got robbed. Just melt the clock. Clock and healing, everyone. Now I'm just playing. I quit my day job, but still, this one's definitely on Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I just didn't get the play calling. The aggressive that he didn't do in the first half when they had 59 seconds with 3 timeouts. I would have took my chance. Oh, well, if you got to punt, you got to play defense. Then, first down, they run the ball with 7 minutes left of the game. They get quick 5 yards. Then I was like, okay, all right, keep running the ball. Then 2nd down, throw the ball. I was like, why are you throwing the ball? Just run it, for crying out loud. Yeah, just melt that clock. I mean, I would have ran it all 4 downs and forced the Chiefs to be in urgency to kind of make them use their timeouts a little bit just to make them scared to where, okay, they're going to have to rush. If they rush, is a potential turnover for the 49ers to make the defense. The 49ers defense, even though they gave up 20-some unanswered points, they held the Chiefs' offense in most of the game. They held it down. And Kyle Shanahan let it down again. He let the Falcons down. Now he let the 49ers down. So I don't know what was going on in his head or something. Just run the ball. I figure he'll learn his lesson from the Falcons when they lost a 25-point lead. That's why I said last week episode, the most pressure the winning the Super Bowl was Kyle Shanahan. And sure enough, there was a lot of pressure, and he didn't show up. All right, second question. Should the Super Bowl be played on Saturdays?
Yes, I think it should be played on Saturday night. I think the college football championship should be played on Saturday as well. Bump the college football championship up to the wild card weekend and have it be put on a Saturday. You got the NFL playoffs. Instead of starting at 3:30 and 7 or whatever they do, and I get they get a little time slot, prime time slot there. Work with the college game. You kick out the first wild card game at noon. You kick out the second one at 3:30. Then you have that 7:30 Saturday night college football championship game. Then as far as the NFL Super Bowls go, completely 100% agree on the Saturday night kickoff. They get 14 days to rest, prep, prepare. I think 13 days is enough. Anyone that's in the Super Bowl with 2 weeks to prep, and the Super Bowl hasn't always had 2 weeks to prep. I think like probably 85% of the time they have. I remember back when I was a kid, it used to be a weekend every once in a while. But for the most part of my adult life, it's been 2 weeks to get ready for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They're ready to go Saturday night. Like they like the game plan's in place. They got everything. All the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, so on and so forth. 100% agree with the maybe 7 o'clock local time, or 7 o'clock Central time, kickoff. I'm all for it.
I would love to see Super Bowl be on a Saturday. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. It would benefit everybody. Matter of fact, not just the NFL, the rest of the sports should play Saturday championship games. If high school does it with the state championship games, why not college football be on a Saturday national?
Yeah, one more thing I want to add on to that college football idea of mine. If you don't want to have the 2 NFL games on a Saturday, what you could do, have your 3:30 wild card game, or if it's on a divisional run like it was this past year, you have the 1-game kickoff at 3:30 on Saturday, the NFL game, followed by the college football championship, and then that Sunday, you make it like a regular season Sunday. You have your noon kick, your 3:30 kick, your Sunday night kick.
Yeah. And then also, why not the March Madness is on a Saturday instead of making it on a Monday? Why not professional baseball championship be on a Saturday? Why not the NBA finals be on a Saturday? I'm like, just make all sports championships on a Saturday instead of an odd day like a Monday, Tuesday.
Okay, we're getting a little carried away here, but I do think the College World Series, they changed it to a best-of-3 format. The championship, that should be on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday up in Omaha, as opposed to a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday like it currently is.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. It would benefit, I think, in my opinion, it would benefit NFL a lot better, and it will bring a lot more revenue, also get more viewers, and everybody will stay up, and they won't have to worry about calling in to work, this and this and that.
But that's a great point. How many people call in the day after the Super Bowl that we're going to be off on Sunday anyway?
Exactly. And also, it would benefit, in my opinion, local restaurant owners, also bar owners as well. They can, it will help the economy out with them a lot better, and everybody else and businesses as well. So in my opinion, Super Bowl should be played on a Saturday. Going forward, I don't know if they brought that idea up. I don't know when it's going to happen. But NFL, make Super Bowl Saturdays happen ASAP. And that will do it for the second segment. When we come back to the third segment, we're going to do our NFL 2020 season bowl predictions, and also we'll pay tribute to the late, great NBA legend Kobe Bryant, who was tragically lost last week. So stick around. Gameball NFL Endzone coming back at you. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone, with the football season never ends. Segment number 3, the 2000 NFL 2020 season bowl predictions. Let's get it. What's your bold prediction for the 2020 season?
My bold prediction is that the NFC West will have every team in the league 8-8 or better. and which isn't that too far of a stretch. You think about the LA Rams; they went 9-7 last year, finished third, and Arizona, I think, had a 500 or better month of December. Kyler Murray's going to be in year 2. Cliff Kingsbury's going to be in year 2. As a head coach as well. I think they take that stride. I think they get to about 7, 8, 9 wins. I think the Rams kind of stay in that 9, 10, 11 win range. And I think that the Seattle and San Francisco could get in that 10 to 12 win range. Now it's gonna be halfway tough for them. They play the NFC and AFC East divisions, I believe. So there's gonna be some travel in there. There's gonna be some miles put up there. But the unique thing about the NFL is that you can be in a tough division, but you don't necessarily beat each other up or knock each other out like you do in other leagues or like in college football. You hear about all the time. Oh, everyone beats. They use this for the Pac-12 all the time. They can't get a team into play it because everybody beats everybody, right? But I mean, you play 10 games that are non-division in the NFL, only 6 within the division. So theoretically, you can go 0-6 in a division, still get that 10-win mark. I think it was 2009. The Kansas City Chiefs went 10-6, won the division. They went 2-4 that year in the division.
They got swept by the Oakland Raiders.
Well, no, the Oakland Raiders went 6-0, but they only finished 8-8. I mean, they swept everybody that year. But the 2-4 AFC West Chiefs, went 10-6, finished 2 games ahead of Oakland, and would lose a home wild card game to Baltimore that year, which I believe was Flacco's rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was the second.
Second year, okay. But yeah, funny things can happen like that. But I think Arizona takes a little bit of. Remember, San Francisco only won 4 games a year ago as well. I don't think Arizona takes that huge of a step. And remember, the LA Rams lost the Super Bowl last year to go 13-3. I'm not sure San Francisco takes that far of a step back. I think there's kind of some middle ground between the two. I think the Rams are still very talented. Sean McVay didn't forget how to coach. And as long as Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson's up there in Seattle, they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna get their 9, 10, 11 wins or better.
All right. Well, my bold prediction will be. Oh man, I haven't thought about this one. But my bold prediction for the NFC West, Seattle played. You might as well say my Super Bowl prediction, whatever. Seattle Seahawks rematch New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. I think that's long overdue, and I think that might happen. And I know that the Patriots will do everything in their power to get Tom Brady back, and I think it's going to happen. And the Tennessee Titans wins the AFC South Division, and I'm just going to say it out right now. And also, there will be a big splash in the free agency market coming up in here the next month. I'm excited. I can't wait. It's like Christmas for us NFL nerds and all that other stuff. So that's where I'm looking forward to see is free agency frenzy and what's going to go down, which players are staying or leaving. So it's going to be intense.
Yes, sir. And I got my way too early Super Bowl pick as well. Kansas City, they are the odds-on favorite to repeat with Las Vegas. I'm not going to argue that. I think the Chiefs do go back-to-back. I think if they played Seattle, that would be like the best. Russell Wilson versus Pat Mahomes at the Super Bowl. That's going to be like the highest rated Super Bowl ever. However, statistics are going to say otherwise. The NFC West has sent a team to the Super Bowl the last 2 years. Not really 100% that's going to happen, if it's the third team in a row there. Tough division, as I mentioned earlier. Process of elimination. I think the Packers take a step back. I just don't trust anyone else in the NFC North, so we're going to rule them out. Not really sure what's going on with Drew Brees down there in New Orleans. I don't trust the rest of that division there. Don't think the Redskins or the Giants are ready to take that next step yet. The Eagles are trying to figure things out there. Can Carson Wentz stay healthy? Which leaves us to America's team. Mike McCarthy's the head coach. They got 8-8 Jason Garrett out of there. Dak, Zeke, and company lose Super Bowl 55 to Kansas City. America's team.
I don't see Kansas City repeating. Yes, they should be deserving favorites to go in there. I don't see them repeat because the free agency period comes up, then they're going to get Patrick Mahomes a big money contract, well deserved, and that's going to have effect on some other players as well coming and going. Also,
they'll feel the ramifications of the Mahomes contract in 21 and forward, though, not necessarily in 2020.
I understand that, but it just comes down to where who wants the big money contract? They want the Super Bowl. Players is going to be wanting that big money. I know Chris Jones is going to be wanting that big money contract.
He's going to get paid by somebody.
Yeah, and Sammy Watkins, do you have enough room to pay him? We don't know. Are they going to give him some money? Is he going to take a discount, or is he going to go elsewhere since he got him a Super Bowl ring? Also, the Baltimore Ravens.
I was just about to say, I'm kind of wanting to see what they do with the draft and free agency before I put them into that next level, that Super Bowl level. Yeah. Let's see what they do first.
And I think I brought it up a little bit ago, but I think, in my opinion, that the Patriots could be back in the Super Bowl again. It's just bias, I ain't gonna lie. It's just a fan of me.
The biggest reason I don't pick the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl is it's like picking Alabama to go to the championship game. I mean, it's a safe bet. You're probably right, but it's kind of boring at the same time, too.
I know, but it's just the way that they lost in the wild card playoff. It's just like a bad taste in their mouth. And everybody's venting. Then you got Tom Brady stuff going everywhere. So I think everybody just...
Well, I mean, that takes us back to the college game. I mean, Alabama's probably not missing the playoff 2 years in a row either.
Yeah.
But, like I said, picking them to win just, you're probably right, but...
Yeah. But I think they'll be aggressive in free agency. And I think that Tom Brady will come back and finish his career as a Patriot. I don't see him in another uniform. And also, I'll say that the Broncos will make the playoffs somehow. The Denver Broncos is getting into the playoffs under Drew Lock as a starting quarterback. They just need to fix that offensive line and fix that defense just a little bit. Give him some weapons here and there. They're set. I think they
lost 3 games last year on the last play of the game.
Yeah, so I think that they'll learn.
Bears hit a field goal, Jaguars hit a field goal, and they blew a 20-0 lead and had the ball inside the Vikings 5-yard line. Mm-hmm. Couldn't score on the last play there, so they three games they lost on the last play.
I think that they'll do a little bit enough, and Vanjo is that you can tell he's made to be a coach for Denver. He's been waiting for a long time, and guys buy into his system. So I like Denver's chances of going to the playoffs. And Cleveland Browns will not make the playoffs this year. All right. Normally we usually do our social media stuff like that, but I feel it's only right not to do that as we pay homage to an NBA legend, a 5-time champion in Kobe Bryant, who was tragically lost a couple Sundays ago in a helicopter accident, as well as his daughter Gigi Bryant and others whose lives was lost. And it was a sad day in the world. Not just sports, but the whole world. So what did Kobe Bryant mean to the sport and to everybody?
I work with this kid Sean at my day job. He's 22-year-old. Doesn't really in 3 separate conversations. He didn't know who a couple of wrestlers were. I said, you know who Ric Flair is? No. Separate conversation. What about George Strait? There was a George Strait concert in Kansas City over the weekend. Never heard of him, right? So in yet another conversation with the kid, I'd say, what about Kobe? Kobe goes, Kobe's more than a celebrity. Like he's kind of his own entity, if you will. And I thought he just pretty much, for a kid that really doesn't know, who admittedly doesn't know much about the celebrity, world or everything else, I thought he pretty much nailed it right there. Like he was bigger than life. And the thing that really set Kobe apart for me is that it's not very often that the most talented player in the room is the smartest player in the room. Mm-hmm. Like you look at your really successful basketball coaches, like Hall of Famers, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, modern day Steve Kerr. These guys, assuming Kerr's on Hall of Fame path there, I think we get Golden State going here in the next year or two. More on that later. But they're not in the Hall of Fame for their game. Like Phil Jackson didn't make the NBA Hall of Fame because he was an excellent player. He made it because he won, what, 10, 11 championships? I think 11? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's how he got in there. Pat Riley played in the NBA. He's in the Hall of Fame. He didn't make it as a player. He was in the Hall of Fame on the court there. And I remember when Prime Jordan was asked about coaching, and he basically said, hell no. I mean, because he's going to be, asking his players to be doing just, other worldly things that he could do. That's kind of what happened when he was with the Wizards. But I think what Kobe could have done is I think he could have brought, between you mentioned his daughter Gigi, I think that he could have elevated the women's game just to another place. I think that her game would have been able to no disrespect to the women that have played so far, but it would have brought that. I was going to say national presence, more like an international presence, though, because, Kobe, he's just world known, world renowned. And I think he could have been part of a WNBA team, front office, coach, maybe both, I don't know. But I think he would have really made the game a lot more global as well. And he headed up here. He could be the NBA next commissioner. I think he could have been just a great suit for the NBA. And basketball in general.
I remember first watching Kobe. It was like my 7th or 8th grade year of middle school, and the dunk contest and all that. I was just wow. Then my freshman year, they go to the NBA Finals and win it. And I had the very first Kobe shoes that came out.
The Adidas. He was with the Adidas first, yeah.
The very first Kobe shoes that came out.
Him and Antoine Walker had the feet you wear.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was just amazing. And just watching him play with him and Shaq. I thought in that time that they played together was the best player tandem in NBA history. Kobe and Shaq, nobody else could do it. Yeah, they had their differences, but it was just the communication, the way they played together. It was just match made in heaven. Then after Shaq left, Kobe went on to win 2 more championships, and
Shaq would get one more with the Heat.
And also he had 81 points against the Toronto Raptors back
55 in the second half.
Yeah, 2006. Then once he retired from NBA, he just felt like he was at peace. And he was also...
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I want to touch on that 81-point game. He dropped that on the same day as the AFC and NFC championship games, which was when the Steelers would go to Denver and win, and Seattle would beat the Panthers that day as well.
Yeah.
So it was before Super Bowl 40, and the game was at LA. It started I think 8 o'clock Central Time or something like that. So the football was pretty much over with for the day by that point. And that Monday morning, almost nobody talked about the upcoming Super Bowl. Steelers and Seahawks was on the back burner. It was all about Kobe's 81.
Mm-hmm. Then he was about to pursue into his second career. I think he would excel at pretty well. Was Hollywood and acting, writing, all
won an Oscar and NBA for a short story, short film.
I was about to get right to that. He won an Oscar.
Dear Basketball.
When do you hear a person that played in sports retire from that sport and win an Oscar for what he wrote? That never happens. When he won that Oscar for his short story, I was like, wow. I'm like, he's going to be something in Hollywood. I mean, all the celebrities stuff was asking advice. Then when players had different sports had Achilles injury, he would reach out to them and to help him guide through the Achilles heel, because he's been through there twice. And he has ups and downs, but he overcame that a lot. And then he would talk about his daughter could be his daughter is him. You know what I'm saying? It's just like playing basketball, going to UConn, and all this other stuff. It was just like his daughter was about to be the next him, because she can ball as well. And when I heard that tragic loss, it was just like, okay, it broke my heart. But what really broke my heart is when his daughter was in there. I was like, oh no. Yeah, it's just like wow. It's just like you gotta tell your parents, your grandparents, husbands, wives, kids that you love them because we don't know if we're coming back home. So you just gotta take the time to tell your loved ones that you love them, all this other stuff, and wherever beef you might have with a sibling or friends other that y'all gotta come together, talk about it, and squash it, because life is too precious.
Yep.
Life is too short for that.
And I want to give a quick shout out to the late Chris Dolman as well. I didn't really get to see Mark Gastineau or Lawrence Taylor play. I kind of got the tail ends of their careers. I didn't get to see them in their prime. So I remember Chris Dolman. He had like a 21.5 sack season for the Vikings. Can't remember what year it was. I think it was 89, 90, right around then. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like the first pure pass rusher I remember, vividly, just because of that leading the league. I understand there's guys like Reggie White, Jerome Brown in there as well, but he really stuck out for me for that too. And back to Kobe right quick, about maybe once the reality set in that, because I was on my phone when it happened, it just like, everything. It's like, okay, I hope they're wrong, but just in case, it's true, I'm going to hop on eBay right quick. I'm going to get me a Lower Merion High School jersey of Kobe right quick.
Yeah.
Before they spiked that price up. Got one for $19.99. I was in Kansas City where I reside this past Sunday. Lower Merion, the colors are red and white. I was wearing a yellow long sleeve shirt underneath it. They go blend in with KC, repping the home team, whatever else. But just, my arm almost fell off the other day. Just slapping 5, pounding everyone like so. People, he was such a national entity. It's got his name on the back. People just saw the front. They just saw the Lower Merion, and Kobe. They all knew that. People shouting Kobe at me like it was my name, and it was just so cool. And I'm so glad I got that. No, it's still not for sale. I'm keeping that sucker, so don't ask. Got asked that so many times the other night, but man, it was great. Probably my crown jewel of jerseys.
Yeah, and it's you felt like you lost a family member when he passed, and it still doesn't feel right that he's gone. It's almost 2 weeks into his death, or a little bit after that. It's just like, damn, Kobe, you just like you, man. I bet you that he would have did everything to save his daughter, and not let his daughter die like that. Just let him and all that, but that wasn't the case, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the family that were lost, and especially to the Bryant family, because his wife lost a husband, lost a daughter.
Still has 3 girls to raise on her own.
Exactly. The sisters lost a sibling.
They got a 17-year-old Natalia, but they got 2 younger ones. I think the youngest one's not even a year old yet.
She's about 7 months, and the daughters lost a sibling and lost a father, and it's just sad and heartbroken. And Kobe learned how to play basketball when his dad was playing overseas, and he spoke. I think they was in Germany, and he spoke their language. It was just like, wow. And that will do it for Gameball NFL Endzone. Be sure to check out upcoming episodes, mock draft, and that coming soon. And I'm Michael Riley.
And I'm Luke Hartnett.
We're gonna do moment of silence, and for Kobe Bryant, who is no longer with us. Rest in peace. And this is Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. Now here's the presentation. Moment of silence for Kobe Bryant.